Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees, for again giving us this opportunity to speak from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very honored and very feel privileged to be here among all of you. So thank you. So before we begin, let's recite the Mangalacharan and then we'll go into the discussion. You're displaying this, right? Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, all permitting personality of God, I offer my obeisances to you. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Nastra prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloker bhakti bhavati naistaki. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes to the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto thee.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees, once again. And welcome for this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So today I am requested to speak on verse number 34 from chapter 14 of 10th canto, Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. And I think we are going to read the translation from 29 onwards.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get that here, and then we'll read from 29 to 40 because that's where the prayers ends. And then additional discussion. The Brahma's prayer starts from text 1 to 40. So those are 40 verses. So let's read from 29 to 40. So we can take turns. So Prabhu, can you please? Hare Krishna.
Text 29. My Lord, if one is favored even by a slight trace of the mercy of your goodness feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years.
that in this life as Lord Brahma or in another life, wherever I take my birth, I may be counted as one of your devotees. I pray that wherever I may be, even among the animal species, I can engage in devotional service to your lotus feet.
Text 31. O Almighty Lord, how greatly fortunate are the cows and ladies of Vrindavan, the nectar of whose breast milk you have happily drunk to your full satisfaction, taking the form of their cows and children. All the Vedic civilizations from the time immemorial up to the present day have not given up as such satisfaction.
How great in fortune are Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd man, and all the other inhabitants of Radhabhumi. There is no limit to their good fortune, because the absolute truth, the source of transcendental bliss, the eternal Brahman, has become their friend.
Yeah, who is that?
But even though the extent of the good fortune of the residents of Vrindavan is inconceivable, 11 presiding deities of various senses, headed by Lord Shiva, are also most fortunate, because the senses of these devotees of Vrindavan are the cups through which we repeatedly drink the nectarian, intoxicating beverage of the honey of your lotus feet.
Text 34. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth, whatever in this forest of Gokula, and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras.
Text 35. My mind becomes bewildered just trying to think of what reward other than you could be found anywhere. You are the embodiment of all benedictions, which you bestow upon the residents of cowherd community of Vrindavan. You have already arranged to give yourself to Putna and her family members in exchange for her disguising herself as a devotee. So what is left for you to give these devotees? What is left for you to give these devotees of Vrindavan, whose homes, wealth, friends, dear relations, body, children, and very lives and hearts are all dedicated only to you?
Text 36. My dear Lord, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles.
My dear Master, although you have nothing to do with material existence, you come to this earth and imitate material life just to expand the varieties of aesthetic enjoyment for your surrendered devotees.
There are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. O my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your appearances are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of my mind, body, and voice.
My dear Krishna, I now humbly request permission to leave. Actually, you are the knower and seer of all things. Indeed, you are the Lord of all the universe, and yet I offer this one universe unto you.
My dear Sri Krishna, you bestow happiness upon the lotus-like Vrishni dynasty and expand the great oceans consisting of the earth, the demigods, the brahmanas, and the cows. You dispel the darkness of irreligion and oppose the demons who appear on this earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As long as this universe exists, and as long as the sun shines, I will offer my obeisances unto you.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for reading through this many prayers. So just little background, we know it, like, Brahma tested Krishna because he was confused whether this is real, this child who is eating with his left hand is really Krishna, is he really the Supreme Person? He was confused and he wanted to test. And Krishna revealed in his expansions, becoming cows, calves, and the Gopas, and then Brahma was really bewildered and taken very astonished. So Brahma realized that the glory of Vrindavan, which is unparalleled in this whole pastime. He understood that Vrindavan Vasis are not ordinary people, and because of this, he became very humble. The prayer means one become humble. Prayer means that I am incapable, I need help. Right? That's what prayer means. So he becomes humble and he aspires to serve the devotees. That's what is happening in this word that we are going to discuss. So let's recite the verse and then we'll go into the discussion. So verse number 34. Can we have that here? It's there. Okay. Tadbhuri bhagyamiha janma kimapya atvyam yad gokulepi katamangrirajobhishekam yajjivitam tu nikhilam bhagavan mukundas tatyapi yat padaraja shruti mrugyameva. Okay, let's read the purport and then we'll get who's not yet read. Who would like to read?
Are we reading translation or
No, sure.
translation? Yeah.
Translation. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth, whatever in this forest of Gokula, and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras.
Yes. Purport, anybody read? Want to read the purport? Somebody? Yeah, okay.
This verse,
He's left, he's not there. Okay.
This verse indicates that Lord Brahma desires to take birth even as the smallest blade of grass in Vrindavan, so that the holy residents of the Lord's abode may walk upon his head and bless him with the dust of their feet. Being realistic, Lord Brahma does not aspire to directly achieve the dust of Lord Krishna's feet. Rather, he aspires for the mercy of the Lord's devotees. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Brahma is willing to take birth even as a stone in a paved footpath in the Lord's abode. Since Brahma is the creator of the entire universe, we can just imagine the glorious position of the residents of Vrindavan. The Lords achieve their exalted position by unalloyed devotion and love. One cannot achieve such spiritual opulence by any puffed up material process of personal improvement. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada reveals the mind of Brahma as follows. But I am not so fortunate to take birth within the forest of Vrindavan. I beg to be allowed to take birth outside the immediate area of Vrindavan, so that when the devotees go out, they will walk over me. Even that would be a great fortune for me. I am just aspiring for a birth in which I will be smeared by the dust of the devotees' feet.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, this whole chapter is about prayers, and there are many, many, many prayers in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Many prayers, right? Begin with prayers of Queen Kunti, prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, and so many are there. Some of prayers are not even mentioned here, like, Brahma Samhita. It's a prayer. Brahmaji is speaking, it's a prayer only. But it's outside of this. But there are so many beautiful prayers. So first of all, we need to understand what is this prayer, right? We all know we pray, but we need to understand what is the real meaning of this prayer, why we should do, what benefit we get by praying, right? So prayer is actually, in most of the lives of people, it is a missing ingredient that makes life meaningful. In devotee's life, we pray, so we understand a little bit. But if we go deeper into that, it is actually a missing element. Now, when we say prayer, what prayer we are talking about? Because prayers could be of many kinds, right? So we'll just quickly touch upon those also in a moment, and then we'll go further into this verse. So, first of all, we need to understand that human life is very rare. So we should not exist. Exist means what? Eat, sleep, repeat. Eat, sleep, repeat. That's existence. But we are not here for that. We are here for higher purpose. We are here to find the meaning of the life. We are here to achieve something better in this life. And we should be having prayer that what should I do? That should be our prayer. When you are confused, we can say, what should I do, dear Lord? I'm confused, I don't know. That can be one of our prayer. And we definitely need to move out of this autopilot mode, right? People are very comfortable in some place. I don't want to do anything. I'm very comfortable doing this. Because the life has become autopilot and we are so comfortable, we are afraid of going out of that comfort zone and do something. It could be happening anything, like, doing certain service. I'm very comfortable. Just want to do this service because I know what time to come, what time to do, what time to leave. Everything is like all set, right? But life is not like that. We have to explore beyond that. And that can happen when we are hit with some situations. And then the prayer comes to our rescue. So the prayer basically makes us, it brings clarity on our mind. It makes us humble. It brings humility. Thinking that there is somebody who is better than me, somebody who is supreme, right? And I need to go and beg for help. Because one is very egoistic, they will not ask for help. Even if they're drowning, they'll say, "Oh, I know swimming, I will not ask for help." Then finally they drown. So we are not here for that. We want to make this life very meaningful. That's why prayers are extremely important. Prayers are done to express our gratitude. That, oh Lord, you have given us this human birth. Otherwise, I could have been any animal on the street, any shrub in the garden or a tree, but I have given this birth. So thank you so much, first of all. Right? Even in human birth, we have got association of the devotees. We have understood the process of bhakti, which is very rare, right? So therefore, gratitude is so important. And then it brings kind of a steadiness in our bhakti. Whenever we are like ups and downs, which are there part of life, even devotees have to go through that. And ups and downs comes, then we should not get disturbed. We should be always, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right, that these ups and downs are like seasons. Winter comes, goes. Summer comes, goes. But one should remain steady in all the aspects, saying that this is temporary. The material world is created by Krishna in such a way, because of Maya potency, we think it is eternal. Everybody thinks it is eternal. I am here forever. But it is not. It is temporary. And therefore, we should also understand that our position itself is temporary. Even Brahma's life, though he may be living for 340 trillion years, still it is temporary. Excuse me. And when we pray, we become peaceful. I don't know what's happening today. We become peaceful. So therefore, these prayers are missing ingredient in many people's lives, because it's not giving taste. They are living as they exist, basically. So that's what these prayers are. Then what prayer makes us very thoughtful, and it removes kind of carelessness. Sometimes we do something again and again. We become a little careless because I know it, right? Sometimes we read so quickly, we miss some words. If we don't read with meaning and we don't pay attention, become careless, we can't read properly also. That's what happens. So when we pray, prayer forces us to think. Because when I'm praying to Krishna, "Oh Radha Krishna Gopinathji, please help me. I'm suffering from this. I'm having this anger. How can I overcome this?" Then we prayed, but then we'll get the seed. Okay, what should I do now? I prayed. I don't want to become angry. You want small things. What should I do? Then we start thinking, okay, when he tells me or she tells me like this, I'm not going to immediately react. I'm going to listen, to respond, not to react. So we start thinking about it, right? So prayers makes us think about what should I do, how should I live my life. Then in prayers we talk about Krishna, protect me from Maya, Krishna, give me strength, Krishna, give me wisdom to differentiate between certain things like that. So we are praying for some mercy. We are requesting for mercy. And when we speak, we are reflecting on what we are speaking, then we are planning, and we take responsibility for our actions. So that's how the prayer goes in that sequence, right? And because of prayer, we become intentional. What is my intention? Okay, I don't want to become angry, at least for today. Let's start with one day at a time, and then I will become in my whole life. So we have an intention. Today I'm going to be very focused. I don't want to become angry. And then whatever situation comes, that's an intention, right? So when we prayed, we said, okay, now today I'm going to do this. So my to-do today is not to become angry. And that becomes the intention. That becomes very powerful, because otherwise the life is meaningless. Right? And we also become very alert about choices. When we pray, we become alert about choices, because without alertness, there can be accidents, there can be mistakes. So that's what the prayer does to us. Then prayer purifies the heart and it creates humility. How it purifies? Because as soon as we start praying, Krishna comes in our heart. And when Krishna comes with along with his lotus feet. And along with his lotus feet, what do we get? The dust from his lotus feet, which is very fragrant. So when we pray, we not only purify ourselves, but we also give joy to others, because then the fragrance emanates from our heart, and others also becomes very joyful because of that. Like when Srila Prabhupada came in the Western world, he was just speaking English from Bhagavatam. That's it. No flowery words. Right? If you hear Prabhupada's lecture, they will like very simple English is there. Not even like, today's lot of speakers there speak so beautifully. But Prabhupada spoke very simple English. But his heart was so pure that all these Malachas and all those people who are cow eaters and all that, they all become great devotee. Why? Because Krishna was in the heart of Srila Prabhupada. And that purified and that created those vibrations that everybody came close to him. So that's why these prayers are required. Then, because of prayer, our heart purifies and becomes nirmal. Our hearts are actually stone-like. Sometimes we are really, if you see it become like a stone, so hard that we become insensitive to others. We become insensitive. We feel entitlement in such situation, but we become insensitive for others in the same situation. This is what goes away when we pray. This is a thing. And then we realize that I want to receive mercy. I want to receive help. Because sometimes we are doing so well in our life that we say, I don't care. I don't need anybody's help. We see so many world leaders that talk like, I don't care about your country. I don't worry about it. Why? Because they have that so much ego that they think, I don't need anybody's help. But it is not like that. We need each other's help. That's why the devotee association has been emphasized so much by Srila Prabhupada. Even beyond japa, he says association is primary. Because when we are in association, you will naturally do what others are doing. Let's say everybody is chanting, and I'm alone who is watching some shorts on YouTube. I say, everybody is chanting. For 5 minutes, then after that, I say, no, I think let me put my hand. Why? Because of the peer pressure. But it's a good, peer pressure is good for spiritual journey, right? So that's what happens. Then we also understand Krishna is above me. I'm not the one. Brahma is realizing that. Brahma, whose body is made of full intelligence, our body is made of Panchadhatu. But Brahma's body is made of full intelligence. And still he started thinking, I'm great. And then he realizes, and he says, no, Krishna is above me. So even Brahma thinks like that. So that's what, comes out when you pray. It also brings us, I need help. We need help. Everybody needs help, right? And we should look for that. And then sometimes, this analogy of watchman is given in one of the lecture, where he says that when the owner or the shopkeeper or the owner of the establishment is not seen for a long time, the security guards start thinking that I am the owner. He start behaving also. Same thing happens with us. We come here because we don't see Krishna. And we think, oh, I'm the owner. I can do this. I'm doing this. It's all happening because of me, right? But when the boss comes and says, hey, watchman, what are you doing? Why are you sleeping? Get up, do this, do that. Then, okay. So this boss call, when he comes, it's like Krishna calling us and say, okay, wake up. I'm the boss. Because who gives? Everything is given by Krishna. The breath that we are taking, who gives this? Krishna has given this. The sun rays, who gives this? Krishna. The water we drink, who gives? Krishna. So everything is given by Krishna. So we should be telling Krishna, yes, thankful. Every day we should be grateful. Before going to bed also we should be grateful to Krishna. That, wow, Krishna, you did such a wonderful day. You taught me this lesson. I was angry at that time, but I think you told me that I should not be. So I'm going to improve myself tomorrow. So anything, positive, negative, we thank Krishna for all these things. And what it does, when we report, every day after Mangalarti, There's a reporting goes to Gopinathji, Radha Kircho Gopinath. In every temple worldwide it happens. That today we distributed 5 books, 5 Bhagavad Gita, like that. So that's how we present our to-do list. Like in our case also, all the devotee, we have a sadhana chart, right? We fill up that, okay, how many rounds did we do? What time did we finish? Did I hear any lecture? What seva I do? All of us have some sadhana chart which submitted to a superior. So like that, we should go and pray to Gopinathji and say, Gopinathji, today I did this. Yesterday I did this. Now I want to improve. So you help me. So Krishna knows everything, but yet it is our responsibility to tell him that I did this. So Krishna will feel happy that, okay, my devotee is coming. He's sincere. And let me help him or her. Right? Krishna will always think like that. Because Krishna is our always ever well-wisher. So, yeah. So this prayer helps us remember that he is owner and we are Das, Dasanu, Das. We are the servant. That's what Brahmaji is asking here. This verse is all about Das, Dasanu, Das. Doesn't want to become a Das. He says Das, Dasanu, Das. He is saying that. And then we discuss that word. So, yeah. And it keeps our inner temperature balanced. Sometimes, we are doing something great in something. We feel very proud. But if we pray, then we become humble and our inner temperature. Sometimes because I'm beautiful, my voice is so great, I have so many memorization of verses, I cook so well, I dress so well, I do this seva so well, nobody else can match my seva, and this world will collapse if I don't exist. All this pride comes in our mind. So when we pray, our inner temperature gets maintained. And that helps us in doing our seva very nicely. So, it is said that, a grateful heart is always a happy heart. A grateful heart. And if you are not grateful, then you are a great fool. Okay, it said that, right? Gaur Gopal Das Prabhu says in one of his messages. It's there as a saying also. So we should always be grateful to someone. We are always, right? And yes, we should always do that. This is very important for prayers. And then what he says that it teaches us to respect. When you pray, it teaches us to respect. And it's like, where prayers are like a tadka in our dal. Like Rohan Prabhu will know. In Govinda, they will order dal tadka and rice. They will not say plain dal tadka. Why? Because that gives flavor. So these prayers are like tadka in our bhakti. It gives flavor. And it adds a taste in our bhakti. If you pray, it adds a taste in the bhakti. So this is all about things. And then whatever that we are doing mechanically, it puts a stop, saying don't do mechanically. Do it with intention. Do it with purpose. Right? So that comes in our life. So with that, this is all about the prayers. So let's go into the discussion. And when we pray, what should we pray? Should we ask for wealth, respect? We'll talk about that. So basically, we have to pray that, my Lord, I am yours. Okay? I need help. I cannot do this alone. And please guide me. How can I serve you today? How can I serve my devotees, others today? That should be our prayers. And of course, we should always be thankful to Krishna. So thank you for your mercy. Thank you, always. I think today morning only we were discussing that if something happens in our life which is not so desirable, what will you do? So we should think like this, that when something is taken away by Krishna, it is Krishna's will. And if something is given by Krishna, it is Krishna's mercy. If we keep this mood in mind, then we will not feel when something happens like loss, or we gain, we don't become puffed up. Okay, it doesn't. Mercy means what? I am not entitled, but still I am getting it. That is mercy. That is the definition of mercy, our Guru Maharaj explains. So with that, let's talk about this verse. So this verse is going to talk about, he thinks about 4 specific things in this verse. He says, what he says, the birth in Gokul or Vrindavan is the greatest fortune. He says, if I get birth here, that will be my greatest fortune. That's what Brahmaji says here. Then he says, let my head, Brahmaji has the 4 heads. It says, let my head be bathed by the dust of the Brajvasis. Let the dust fall on my head. Similar prayer was done by somebody also in the Bhagavatam. Do you know who's done that? Yeah, Sudhava. when he came to deliver the message of Krishna to gopis, Uddhava is a disciple of Brihaspati, is a very intelligent person, very intelligent, and a very dear friend to Krishna also. But when he came and he thought, okay, let me, give them philosophy class to gopis, and he gives, and he gets so humble that he say, oh, let me become the shrub or a plant in this Vrindavan, so that when gopis walk, at least I'll get their foot dust. Because when I ask them, they are not going to give me. They will not give me. So the only way I can get it is become a grass. So they will not notice me. And when they walk, I'll get that dust. That's the mood. So here Brahmaji is saying same thing. Right? So he's saying, let me be bathed by the dust of the lotus feet from all the Brajvasis. And then he says that Brajvasi's life and soul is Krishna. For us, life and soul is not yet Krishna. For most of us, right? They are still thinking many things. But for them, only Krishna. Krishna is only in the center. Like all the mothers, they love Krishna more than their children. Now, this is a very rare thing in material world, that mother will love neighbor's child than her own child. That doesn't happen here. But in Vrindavan, it happens. They love Krishna more than their own child. And therefore, when Krishna manifested, expanded as their children, because when Brahma did the Vimohan Lila, when all the children were taken away, the mother's love for those children continue. In fact, that increased, because now it is Krishna whom they loved, who is in front of them as their child. So their love, in fact, increased toward their own children. So this is how the Vrindavan Vasis are there. So we have a long way, but we are on the journey, so we'll reach there. Right? And then he says that this dust, this is very important. He says, still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. In the Vedas, also this dust is being searched. Because whatever is there in Veda, if it is searching beyond that, means that is not available in Vedas. So we don't get devotion in Vedas. We don't get that. We don't get how to do bhakti in Veda. They won't teach us. So which is beyond. We can only ask for something which we don't have. If we have $1 million, then we don't ask, oh, give me $100. No, we already have it. But who doesn't have a beggar and say, yeah, I need $100, something like that. So that's what is happening here. So let's understand this. Buri bhagyam iha. Buri bhagyam iha means what? Buri bhagyam iha means the greatest good fortune here in the Brajvasi. That is the greatest fortune, to be here. So why? He's saying that, we were discussing, asked this question, that what should we pray? What should be my desire? When we ask, let's say Krishna comes here and say, all right, tell me, what do you want? Are we going to say, yeah, give me some warmth. It's too cold. I don't have a good jacket. Give me some money so I can have a car, so I don't have to go by bus or walk. What are we going to ask? It's very difficult. This question was asked, in very early time of my Krishna consciousness in the class, and say, okay, if Krishna comes right now and say, okay, I'm going to take you back to Godhead right now. How many of you are ready? And only 2 people were able to raise their hand, because we have so much attachment. We can't give it up. Krishna is ready to take us back. We should think like that, okay, I'll do like Dhruv Maharaj. He went, but he also take my mother. So we can say, oh, take my family. Then I'll go. The attachment that we have, we can take that. Then no problem. But attachment is so strong that we don't realize the value of Krishna taking us back to Godhead. It's such a precarious condition, I would say, that we don't realize the value. So, yeah, we should not ask for wealth. We should ask for fame, not even liberation. What will you do with liberation? No, we don't want liberation. The greatest fortune that Brahmaji says here is Vraj Bhakti. That how the Vrindavan Vasis are serving Krishna unconditionally. They have ahituki bhakti, unalloyed devotion towards Krishna. That's what they are doing. And our fortune is measured by the loving service to Krishna. Are we having that love to serve Krishna? Or I'm getting like, I don't want to do this service. I will do service which is more visible to me, or visible to others, not to me, but others. Right? We talked about that Radha Gopinath Prabhu Seva last class, right? So he's just doing service. He's not even visible. Many people will not even know he exists unless somebody has seen him doing seva. So that is what the greatest fortune that Brahmaji is confirming. That greatest fortune is to take birth in Vrindavan, serve Krishna in the mood of Brajvasis. We should have the mood of Brajvasis, which is unconditional. They are ready to do anything for Krishna at any given point of time. Any given point of time. Right? So that's what it is. Then he says that, here he says, Kim api janma. Kim api janma. Right? So Kim api janma means what? That whatever birth you give me in this, I am fine with that. I just want to be born in this land of Vrindavan. I just want to be born. I don't want to be like a scholar or a great person in this. No. Even if you make me anything in this, even if you make me dog or hog, no problem. I'm fine with that. Prabhupada tells in one of the class, I think it is 72 or 75, when he gave class on Srimad Bhagavatam, where he says that when we see in Vrindavan even the dogs and hogs, we should not think, oh, they are like ordinary dogs and hogs found outside of Vrindavan. We should not think like that. They are also great devotees, but they made some mistakes. So they are given this body. But where they are born? They are born in Braj Bhumi. That is a great fortune. That means in the next life, they can go back. They can go back. Prabhupada confirms this, right? So when we see, for that reminds me of one story. This was told by, one Brajvasi, I think Pundrik Maharaj or somebody, I think he told this. So I'll just narrate that very quickly. So there was one devotee, our ISKCON devotee. She was living in ashram in Vrindavan. She came for Kartik month and she stayed. And then she went back to Germany. Now when she went back to Germany, when she opened her suitcase in home, she found a lizard, a living lizard in her bag. Now obviously when did it came from? From Vrindavan. She becomes so perplexed that I made a big offense. I separated this soul from Braj Dham and brought him into this material world. And then she started, I have to go back. Now accidentally that lizard came, so there was no problem. But now if you want to take it with a care, now that needs permission. So she had to take permission from German team saying this has happened in India, that okay, this lizard is going to come back to India. Please help me. All this she did, a lot of paperwork. After months of struggle and requests and all those things, she finally got approval. She flew back from Germany to Vrindavan. And she went into the same room where she lived and left the lizard there. Now what does this mean? This means this being born in Vrindavan is very rare. It's such an important thing. But look at the compassion of a devotee also. That how she felt. With, oh, it's a one lizard, it's okay. Immediately we'll get afraid. Oh, Nikalo, remove it fast. Isn't it? We'll do like that. But look at her compassion, that Mataji. So it's amazing. So we should have that compassion when we go to Vrindavan, looking at dogs, hogs and all this dirty thing. We should not think this is ordinary. No, they are not. It is Chintamani. Chintamani Dham. We are not able to see it because we have got screens of Maya. That's why we can't. When we see filth and the gutters are flowing, the cow dung is lying here and there. All those things we'll see. We see pollution. That's what usually most of the people go and see it. But we should try to develop that mood where we try to see that Vrindavan, where Krishna walked on that path. Krishna walked, the great saintly people walked on that path. So we should always think like that. So here Brahmaji is saying that I want to become a shrub or a grass in this. It is not out of egoistic, because egoistic person will not think like this. They will say, oh, I want to have this. Like, there was some controversy in Vrindavan also some time ago, when there was in the early morning there was a procession going on for some Maharaj, and some people objected, Are this big disturbing our sleep? Are you are in Vrindavan. Vrindavan, the day starts at 2 o'clock in the morning, where the whole world is sleeping. That's how the Vrindavan begins. In Vrindavan, in every corner you'll see there is Akhanda Harinam going on. Every time you walk in the night, you will hear some soft kartal and some harinam, very simple. They are not like great singers, but they are singing all the time. All the time. They are associating with Krishna through his name all the time. So that's how it is. So we should not be egoistic, because just because I have money, I buy a flat in Vrindavan and then I will do whatever I used to do in other place where I used to live earlier. No, that's not correct. That means we are not ready to live in the dham, right? And that's what we talked about, that we can make our home itself is Vrindavan. We don't have to stay there. Our mission is to preach and spread this movement further. So we can stay where we are. Last time we saw, like sthane sita, we should be here where we are and just do our bhakti very nicely. Krishna doesn't say you come to Vrindavan, then only I will deliver. No, wherever we are, if we do our bhakti nicely, that is Vrindavan. Krishna is ready to come there also. No problem with that. So that was that's what it is mentioned here. Then he's saying that let me be placed near a devotee. Let me be placed near a devotee. He is not asking for a direct liberation. He is not asking for a direct liberation from Krishna. He says, let me be near your devotee. This should be our mood also. That whenever we want to approach a senior devotee, a Guru Maharaj, we should go through somebody else. Just because we know or he knows and all that, initially we should try to go like that. Because that's the way we get mercy. We get mercy very quickly. Brahmaji is teaching us that I want to get the dust from the feet of the Brajvasis, not Krishna, your feet. I want to first get the dust from the feet of the Brajvasis. So they are the devotees of Krishna. So he is saying that. And Vrindavan is a dham, is a field of mercy. A lot of mercy flows in Vrindavan. If you go there, a lot of mercy coming. So Brahmaji is thinking that I want to be there, because he says I want to be bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any office. Look at this, any. Any means not just gopis, anybody who is living in Vrindavan, their dust is what I want. So these are some of the very important prayers that he is making here. Because if you see, if you go to Vrindavan, as soon as we see Vrindavan Dham, we should actually bow down, take the dust on our head. Immediately, we can roll in the dust. And what I have noticed, when you roll in the dust of Vrindavan, your clothes doesn't get soiled. They're very nice, somehow. Raman Reddy, when we went for a yatra, this was 2012-13 at the time. And our Shiksha Guru take us and said, let's play in Raman Reddy. And dust is so soft, you can play there. And we were playing kabaddi and all those stuff. It was so nice. And we were rolling, dust was falling all over. When we woke up and we just clean, it's all, no problem. So dust is not like what you find in other places. They are very, very chintamani, if we seek from that point of view. So Brahmaji is saying that I want to get that dust. Then, best is when we do our bhakti through a devotee center, means I want to serve a devotee and through which I will serve Krishna. That is more meaningful. That makes it very powerful. Because directly serving to Krishna is very challenging. Krishna is very demanding. So we serve through the devotee. Somebody is making something, okay, I will serve, assist that devotee. Let me do that. Right? And then through that channel, the Krishna's mercy will come sooner. It will come faster. Right? Let's think about this. So if we are standing too close to Krishna, then Krishna's eyes are going there, far. Right? Some devotee go and stand very close to Krishna and take darshan. Yeah, it's good, but then for a moment that we have seen, but now Krishna also wants to see us, and we should go behind. Krishna can see us very nicely. Right? Because even paying obeisances, it is mentioned that when you pay obeisances very close to the Lordship, that's also not correct. You should not pay obeisances directly close. You can go from far, so that Krishna can see us. So that's what Brahmaji prays, that he begs for mercy from Krishna's devotees. Like Uddhav says, I want to get the dust from the gopis. So he is praying for that. Right? Then further he says here in this Yad Jivitam tu Nikhilam. Yad Jivitam Mukunda. So Yad Jivitam Mukunda means the Brajvasi's life and soul is Mukunda, Krishna. They don't want to see anything. If they are breathing, they are for Krishna. They are living, they are for Krishna. Even when Krishna went to Mathura and never returned, they are living in separation from Krishna. so that their love goes up. Krishna actually did this lila to increase the love in separation. So our parampara is vipralamba bhav. Our parampara is not attached to Krishna. Our parampara is to be away from Krishna and cry for Krishna. Cry for Krishna. If you see His Holiness Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj in Bhubaneswar, he named his temple as the crying school. It's a crying school. So you cry for Krishna. And he says, if you cannot cry, you should cry that you cannot cry for Krishna. He says that. So our mood is in separation. Love Krishna in separation, because that is very high. Very, very high. Love in union is anybody can do. But love someone in separation is very high. So our mood in our parampara is to love Krishna in a vipralamba, like gopis did. That is what our mood should be. So, in a pure devotion, then nothing can separate us from Krishna. We don't feel separation. Krishna is here. No, Krishna is, we can see it. We always see Krishna, right? Because Brajvasis never practiced spiritual life. Because Krishna was their life. So where is the practice to be done? It's already happening automatically. For us, we need to put an endeavor. We need to put an effort to become Krishna conscious, isn't it? We have to wake up and then put hands in bead bag and say, okay, now I will chant. Okay, I have to I have to read Bhagavatam, at least I will read it. So we have to make an attempt to do that. It is not a natural thing happening so far. For some of you, maybe, but for me, it's still hard. I have to really struggle for that. I put to-do list. Okay, now it's time to read Bhagavatam. Now it's time to do this. Like we have to put reminders, right? Because that is still not natural for us, for many of us. So that's what he says, that Yat Jivitam Mukunda. They are living only for Krishna. Krishna is our life and soul. For us, our life and soul is something else. But yes, we can go there. We are already on the path with the association. Then he says that Shruti Mrugyam Eva. So even the Vedas are searching for that. The scholarship does not produce prem. If you have scholarship, does not produce prem. Intelligence does not manifest love. No, that's not possible. Impossible. Because Brajvasis, they are very simple cowherd boys, cowherd girls. If they are scholars, they will not be able to manifest this love that they are exhibiting in Vrindavan. So therefore, Brahmaji is praying that Vedas are glorifying something they cannot own. They don't own it, that's why they are glorifying. We can only appreciate something that we don't have. If you already have, then we will not be able to appreciate. Like if you are singing very nicely, we will not be able to appreciate some other singer, because anyway, I also sing so nicely. But if you cannot sing, wow, Prabhu, what an amazing sound. Now that doesn't mean to demean somebody who's singing nicely, but it's just the, understanding that when we don't have something, we appreciate that more, right? If we are having, every day we are getting a lot of water and all that, we don't appreciate drinking water. Yeah, it's water. We don't forget. But say we are in a desert, and now we are trying for a drop of water, and somebody gives, then you appreciate that water. We are drinking every day, but we are not appreciating this because we get it so easily. So in Vedas also, it doesn't have something, that's why it's appreciating. Right? And the love in the Vrindavan is beyond our analysis. We should not apply our analogy that how this is working. That's what Uddhav came to do. And he failed. And then he became humble and said, okay, now let me become shrub so that I can get some dust. Right? So in some of the verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam, there are verses. So can we bring one verse, Prabhuji, if you can? 3:25-25. So while it comes, humble, right? Trinadapi Sunechana. So that brings humility, right? Because our principle in bhakti should be three things: humility, association, and complete surrender. Three things will help us become advanced. What are those? Humility, then what next? Association, and third, surrender. Complete surrender. Association of materialistic people, right? No. Devotees. Devotees. Always seek. So, yeah, can we read the translation? See, this is a very beautiful verse. We can read this. Satam Prasanga Mama. So we can just read the word translation. Somebody can read? Yes.
In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is free, and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin.
Jai. So see how important is association here. Devotee association, extremely important. Extremely important. We may have to associate with non-devotees outside of our daily work, like we go to office, we go to market, all this, we have to interact. It's okay, we have to keep interacting. But here association means spending a lot of time with them. We'll become like that. So we should not do that. Then Trinadabi Sunichara teaches us humility. This verse teaches us our bhakti awakens when we are in association of devotees. And in 1866 in Bhagavad Gita, surrender is taught. Right? What is that? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam praja. He says, forget all dharmas. Just surrender unto me. So Krishna is teaching again and again, surrender. And this verse comes twice in Bhagavad Gita. 2 times it's in 9th chapter and 18th chapter. So we can understand how important these points which is made by Krishna. But thing is that we have to read them. We have to read and understand. Like I was only talking to some devotees today morning and I was telling him how we should do study. Right, we were discussing. So study should be done scrutinizingly. Means we may read in a group. There may be a group reading that can happen, which is good, right? Which is good than reading something else. But our own swadhyay is equally important. That when we read ourselves, then we start thinking, okay, Prabhupada is saying this. I thought it was like that. We can make some markings. It's okay to write in Bhagavatam. Write with pencil. You can use colors. No problem. All the great speakers that I see and meet them, if you see their Bhagavatam, they will have all the lines and reference and all the small things. It's amazing. When I saw the notes of his case, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, I am astonished. So much detail he has written. So some pictures he'll put just to immediately catch that point and all that. And in fact, if you have seen the Subodhinis that he has written, they were actually his notes. He was writing like that. And somebody suggested, why don't you Prabhu publish it? They said, is it? Yeah, it's good. Everybody will see it. So that's how the Subodhini came into the manifestation. It was his notes. So you can imagine how detailed he was writing. And obviously when he speaks, then we say, wow, because of his own sadhana, his own study. So we can make notes. We can write in Bhagavatam, no problem. Krishna will be happy if you write, because okay, you are studying me. That's good. It's like, the Gopas go in the Vrindavan and they try to decorate Krishna with a lot of jewels and all those things. They put dots, they put all those things. Like we see in our deities also, there are dots and all those things. Why? Because Vrindavan Vasis, they used to decorate Krishna like that. That's why we do that. So Krishna is happy. Krishna says, what are you doing? You don't put all these things. Right? If you're putting some makeup, somebody puts dot. Hey, what? No, my makeup will go bad, like that. But Krishna is very happy. So this is Krishna. Krishna in the form of a book. And therefore, if you write, Krishna will be happy. You are decorating me. Oh, wow, you're writing about me. Very nice. So Krishna gets very pleased with that. So that's what he says. So here, one of the points which is mentioned here by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that Brahma is willing to take birth even as a stone in a paved footpath in the Lord's abode, which is Vrindavan. And he is not saying, I want to be in a Vrindavan. I can be just outskirts of Vrindavan. Okay, don't feel me, I'm not qualified to be in Vrindavan. That's okay. At least make me just on the border. So when a devotee walk out or in, at least there I will get some dust. So his position is so humble that even I don't want Vrindavan. Just keep me outside. Like, outside your door. Then I'll be sitting there. Something like that. Prabhupada sat on the door of, what is her name? Morarji, yeah, Srimati Morarji. He sat there. 3 days he was sitting. And then I said, old man, you go, you will die. He said, no, unless you give me ticket, I'm not living in this place. He sat there 3 days. And then Srimati Moradi said, okay, all right, this man is really mad. I have to do something for him. And she gave a free ticket to him, Prabhupada. So that's called determination. Brahmaji is showing same thing. I want to be outskirts of Vrindavan. No problem. I'm fine with that. Right? So, yes. So, Dham mercy is very extraordinary and very powerful. Prabhupada narrates in many places. He talks about the importance of Dham, visiting Dham. We get so much mercy. And definitely we should avoid the offenses that we could commit in the Dham. So before visiting Dham, we should read the Dham offenses, right? It's very helpful. And any accidental contact with even dust of the Vrindavan purifies one. Even accidental. Not intentional, accidental. So it's so potent. So potent. It's not a normal dust that we see. No. Krishna walked, devotees walked, pure devotees walked, Srila Prabhupada walked, so many Guru Maharajas are walking, so many devotees are walking. How can that dust not purify us? It can absolutely purify us. Right? So, yeah, if we deliberately surrender, intentionally surrender to Dham, then what to speak? It will be so amazing. That is what Brahmaji is saying here in this prayer. That let me be in this Dham. I am okay with that. I have no problem with that. Right? Then, Prabhupada is mentioned in one of the points, in one of the class, he says that Krishna and his abode are non-different. Meaning Vrindavan and Krishna, they are not different. It is same as, the Dham is as equal as Krishna. It's same as Krishna, non-different. So that's what Prabhupada says. And he says that Dham carries the full potency of Krishna. Whatever Krishna can give, Dham can also give. So we don't have to ask separately to Krishna. If we go and live in the Dham, do some seva, we get a lot of potency, a lot of mercy. And when we worship the Dham, it is very transformative for our consciousness. We want to transform our consciousness, right? That's how our life will change. Otherwise reading and listening to class will not do any good. Yeah, it is better than hearing something, but it will take long time to go there, right? It's like, if you want to go from here to airport, you start walking. It will take days, maybe 1 day, 2 days. But if you go in a car, maybe reach in 40 minutes. So better to avoid any offenses and read this in such a way that I want to transform. Means implement the teachings. Here Brahmaji is teaching to be humble. And we need to try to become humble. We can exhibit in our day-to-day life. We don't have to wait for this kind of situation to come. Okay, I'll wait for situation to become humble. Let the situation. No. It is there in front of us every time to become a humble. Right? So it is always there. Being humble means when we are supposed to get an opportunity and somebody else immediately takes it and we don't get it. And so, all right, maybe he is more qualified. Even if that thought comes in mind, then we are humble. If the thought of agitation comes in our mind, then we are still away from that. But no problem. We are at least working towards it. We are conscious about that thought. So that's what Brahmaji is teaching us in this verse, right? And then, then Brahma is begging for dust of this devotee that he says. Then, so bhakti, when we do devotional service, that is bhakti, it begs for mercy, not for mastery. I don't want to become master. I want to be beggar. That's why we have to be prayer. We have to keep praying that I'm not qualified, but please help me. Please give mercy. I still have so much another. I still have so much attachment. Please help me with that. So that's what is being done here. So with that, we'll pause because I think I went a little over. Sorry about that. So this is what Brahmaji is teaching us. It's a very beautiful prayer. We can read the whole section from 1 to 40. These prayers, because we may not have that intelligence to create such prayers. But if we read it as is also, Krishna will think this is we are speaking. Right? We can read Mukundamala, King Kulchakar prayers. It is Kulchakar's prayers. We can read Queen Kunti's prayer, which is little intense, but we can pray. Yeah, because that can become intense sometimes. If that happens, then, oh my God. Because she is saying, let calamity come on me. We can't expect that, right? But Krishna understands. I will not give you that. Because many times, Krishna says, I take away everything when he comes to me. Like he says in the 11th canto, he says that. But he will not take from us if we are not ready. Krishna will take only if we are ready. Krishna will take things away from us if we can go close to him. Krishna will give things to us if we can go close to him. So giving and taking based on how easily we go to Krishna, that's what Krishna decides. Sometimes we say, why Krishna is not giving me? Why he is giving to somebody else? Because that person can take it. I cannot. So Krishna is not giving me. And when by taking away certain things, I will go close to Krishna. So therefore. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope we are able to develop some quality that Brahmaji is speaking in this verse. And I will try to do that. I'm not yet there, but I will try. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Ancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha